Ever felt like reality itself shifts during an eclipse? As if the universe hits pause just long enough for you to sense something deeper? You're not imagining it. There's a reason ancient mystics retreated into caves while modern souls feel inexplicably emotional or restless when the sky goes dark. The truth most people miss is that eclipses aren't just astronomical events. They're energetic portals that crack open the thin veil between your everyday consciousness and the infinite wisdom of the universe. While everyone's busy taking photos of the spectacle, your soul is receiving cosmic downloads that could catapult your spiritual growth faster than months of meditation. What if the strange feelings, vivid dreams, and sudden life changes during eclipse season aren't random chaos, but the universe strategically rewiring your reality? Topic 1. The cosmic reset button. When an eclipse occurs, something extraordinary happens beyond what science textbooks tell you. The energetic field surrounding Earth undergoes a massive recalibration. Think of it like your phone rebooting. For those brief moments, all the background programs stop running, giving you a clean slate to install new operating systems for your life. Solar eclipses function as powerful new beginnings, opening gateways where fresh intentions can be planted directly into the fertile soil of cosmic energy, while lunar eclipses work as completion ceremonies, revealing what's been hiding in your emotional basement so you can finally toss it out. The universe literally dims its lights to show you what you've been too distracted to notice. During these celestial alignments, the typical electromagnetic patterns that govern our planet shift dramatically. Temperatures drop, winds change direction, and even animals behave oddly because they sense what's happening. Your body, which is essentially a sophisticated energy antenna, picks up on these fluctuations whether your conscious mind acknowledges it or not. This is why people report feeling anxious, exhausted, or strangely electrified during eclipse season. Your physical vessel is recalibrating alongside the planet's energetic frequency. It's not weakness, it's attunement to something most humans have forgotten how to read. The ancient tantric yogis weren't meditating during eclipses because they had nothing better to do. They understood that spiritual practices performed during these windows could accelerate transformation exponentially. Imagine trying to upload a massive file on regular Wi-Fi versus a supercharged connection. That's the difference between normal spiritual work and eclipse-powered inner development. The veils between dimensions become gossamer thin, allowing you direct access to higher consciousness, your true self, and wisdom that usually requires years of dedicated practice to access. This cosmic reset isn't asking permission to transform you. It's happening whether you're ready or not. But conscious participation determines whether you evolve or just feel dizzy. Topic 2. Shadow work becomes unavoidable. Eclipses have zero tolerance for emotional baggage you've been dragging around, and they'll shine a spotlight directly on what you've stuffed into your psychological closet. A lunar eclipse specifically acts like an emotional MRI machine, revealing the suppressed feelings, limiting beliefs, and unhealed wounds that have been quietly sabotaging your journey toward inner peace and authentic living. The moon governs our deep emotional tides, so when Earth's shadow passes over it, temporarily blocking the sun's illumination, your own shadow self gets projected onto a cosmic screen you can't ignore. This is precisely why eclipse seasons feel emotionally turbulent. You're not falling apart. You're finally seeing what needs healing. Most people experience heightened intuition during these periods because the usual mental chatter that drowns out your soul's whispers suddenly gets muted. Your subconscious mind, which normally operates in the background, suddenly has front row seats to your conscious awareness. Those random memories surfacing, the dreams so vivid they feel like prophecies, the sudden clarity about toxic relationships, none of it is coincidence. It's your higher self using the eclipse portal to deliver urgent messages. Think of it like finally getting reception in a place where you've had dead zones for years. The question is, will you read the texts or ignore them? Spiritual teachers throughout history have recognized eclipses as karmic realignment opportunities, moments when past patterns come full circle demanding resolution. If you've been avoiding a difficult conversation, ignoring a calling, or pretending you're satisfied with mediocrity, eclipse energy will create circumstances that make avoidance impossible. This might manifest as a sudden job loss that pushes you toward your real purpose. a relationship ending that frees you for genuine love, or a health crisis that forces lifestyle transformation. The universe isn't being cruel, it's being efficient, collapsing timelines so you don't waste another decade walking the wrong path. Topic 3. Time feels non-linear. During eclipses, many people report feeling like time itself becomes weird. Hours pass like minutes or minutes stretch into eternities, creating a dreamlike quality to reality. This isn't psychological delusion. It's actually related to how consciousness perceives reality when normal solar and lunar cycles get interrupted. Our circadian rhythms, emotional patterns, and even cognitive functions are deeply wired to light cycles. So when those cycles dramatically shift during an eclipse, our perception of time's flow also shifts. It's like the universe briefly steps outside its usual schedule, and you get to peek behind the cosmic curtain where past you, present you, and future exist simultaneously. Mystics and metaphysical traditions describe eclipses as moments when timeline shifts can occur, sudden pivots where your life's trajectory changes course in ways that feel destined or fated. You might meet someone during eclipse season who completely alters your path, receive an opportunity that seems to come from nowhere, or make a decision that your future self will recognize as the moment everything changed. The rational mind struggles with this because we're trained to think of life as linear cause and effect, but spiritual awakening reveals that reality is far more fluid, especially during energetic portals like eclipses. The shifts happening during these windows may not make sense until months later, when you look back and see how perfectly the pieces fell into place. Some observers of solar eclipses describe the experience as feeling like the home of my soul, a profound recognition of something beyond ordinary existence. This happens because when the sun's visible and invisible energies, ultraviolet, infrared, electromagnetic, suddenly cease, your consciousness temporarily releases its grip on material reality. Colors appear more vibrant, shadows intensify, familiar landscapes look otherworldly, and there's an almost eerie quality to the atmosphere. You're not hallucinating. You're experiencing reality without the sun's constant energetic bombardment that normally keeps you locked into conventional perception, giving you a brief glimpse of the mysticism underlying everyday existence. Topic 4. Energetic hypersensitivity activates. If you've ever felt like you're energetically absorbing everything around you, eclipses amplify this sensitivity to levels that can feel overwhelming or extraordinarily powerful depending on your awareness. Your energy field, which usually has some protective buffering, becomes more porous during these cosmic events, making you a living antenna picking up on collective emotions, Earth's electromagnetic shifts, and even information from higher dimensional frequencies. This is why empaths often need to isolate during eclipse season. It's not antisocial behavior, it's energetic survival when your soul is downloading massive upgrades and you can't afford interference. The phenomenon happens because eclipses create unusual electromagnetic conditions on Earth, with solar radiation plummeting to zero during totality, and atmospheric changes creating pressure differences that even manifest as physical winds. Ancient yogis deliberately used these conditions to amplify their spiritual practices, understanding that meditation, manifestation, and healing work performed during eclipses carry exponentially more power than during regular times. Consider reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle during your next eclipse season, and notice how differently the teachings land. Concepts that seemed abstract suddenly become visceral, lived experiences because the energetic conditions support deeper consciousness penetration. Your physical body might respond with disturbed sleep, intense dreams, headaches, or exhaustion because it's processing upgrades at the cellular level. This isn't illness. It's transformation demanding resources, similar to how a caterpillar must dissolve into soup before reorganizing as a butterfly. Rather than resisting these symptoms, spiritual development requires learning to work with them, hydrate intentionally, rest without guilt, journal your dreams, and create space for whatever wants to emerge. The universe is offering you accelerated evolution. The side effects are proof of your elevation, not evidence of something wrong. Topic 5. Collective consciousness shifts. Eclipses don't just affect individuals. They create ripples through collective human consciousness, often preceding or coinciding with major societal transformations, revolutions, and cultural awakenings. When millions of souls simultaneously experience this energetic recalibration, the combined effect can shift the consciousness of entire civilizations. Look back through history and you'll find eclipses marking pivotal moments, not because they cause events, but because they reflect and amplify the energetic conditions already brewing in the collective shadow. The personal is always connected to the universal. Your individual awakening during an eclipse season contributes to humanity's larger spiritual growth. Sri Aurobindo, the renowned spiritual philosopher, emphasized that cosmic events like eclipses mirror shifts happening in collective consciousness, offering opportunities for humanity to transcend egoic patterns and align with divine flow. This explains why social movements often gain momentum around eclipse seasons, why long-hidden truths suddenly get exposed, and why systems that seemed permanent suddenly collapse. The universe is essentially providing cosmic permission for transformation that was already needed, permission for you to leave that soul-crushing job, permission for societies to dismantle oppressive structures, permission for consciousness itself to evolve beyond outdated paradigms. Change becomes not just possible but inevitable during these windows. This collective energy can feel chaotic because it's stirring up humanity's accumulated shadow material, the denied traumas, suppressed truths, and collective wounds we've been ignoring. Social media becomes more volatile during eclipse seasons, arguments escalate faster, and people seem more reactive because everyone's emotional basement is being flooded with light simultaneously. Rather than getting swept into the drama, awakening souls use this awareness to practice compassionate detachment, recognizing that the chaos is actually healing in progress. When you feel overwhelmed by the collective intensity, it's your cue to meditate, ground your energy, and remember that transformation often looks messy before it looks miraculous. Topic 6. Karmic cycles complete. Rapidly, eclipses function as cosmic express lanes for karmic resolution, collapsing what might normally take years into a matter of weeks or even days. That relationship you've been trying to fix for 3 years, eclipse season might finally reveal it's unfixable, allowing you both to move on. The pattern of self-sabotage you've been working through in therapy, an eclipse portal might deliver the breakthrough insight that finally breaks the cycle. These aren't random coincidences. They're the universe operating with ruthless efficiency, removing obstacles to your spiritual vision and clearing the path toward your authentic calling. The catch is that you must be willing to release what's ending instead of clinging to familiar suffering. Karmic completions during eclipses often feel fated because they involve circumstances beyond your control, sudden endings, unexpected revelations, or encounters that seem divinely orchestrated. A mentor might appear with exactly the wisdom you need, or a door might close forcing you toward an opportunity you were too scared to pursue voluntarily. The Vedic tradition teaches that eclipses activate the lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu, points in space associated with destiny, compulsions, and evolutionary growth. When these nodal points get illuminated by eclipse energy, whatever has been blocking your soul's evolution becomes impossible to ignore, creating crisis or breakthrough, sometimes both simultaneously. Personal transformation during eclipse seasons doesn't require you to do more. It requires you to release more. Create a ritual of writing down everything you're ready to let go: toxic beliefs, expired identities, relationships that have run their course, fears that have kept you small, and then burn that paper during the eclipse, consciously offering it to the transformational fire of cosmic energy. This isn't superstition. It's energy work that uses the amplified portal conditions to seal your intention into reality. The eclipses that occur each year, typically in pairs during spring and autumn, create ongoing cycles of death and rebirth, inviting you to continuously shed old skins as you elevate your soul toward enlightenment. Topic 7. The energetic portal stays open. Here's what most people miss. The eclipse itself might last minutes or hours, but the energetic portal it opens remains active for months. A solar eclipse's themes and transformational energies typically influence the following 6 months until the next eclipse season arrives, creating extended windows for the changes seeded during totality to unfold and manifest. This means the weird feelings, synchronicities, and life upheavals you experience during eclipse season aren't confined to that specific day. They're the beginning of a longer journey that will continue revealing itself as time passes. You're not waiting for something to happen. You're in the middle of it happening right now. The energetic ripples from eclipses work similarly to throwing a large stone into a pond. The initial splash is dramatic, but the waves continue radiating outward long after. Decisions made, insights received, and intentions set during eclipse windows carry unusual potency because they're encoded with the amplified cosmic energy present during the portal opening. This is why spiritual teachers recommend treating eclipse seasons as sacred time, avoiding major commitments until the energy settles while simultaneously being open to revelations and guidance that emerge. It's about balancing receptivity with discernment, allowing transformation without forcing premature action. Use the weeks following an eclipse to meditate regularly, paying attention to recurring themes in your dreams, journaling about emotions and insights that surface, and noticing patterns in what the universe keeps showing you. If the same book recommendation keeps appearing, read it. If thoughts about changing careers won't leave you alone, explore them seriously. If you keep running into the same person, have a real conversation. The universe speaks through repetition and synchronicity, especially during eclipse cycles when the communication channels between your conscious mind and higher self are exceptionally clear. Spiritual isolation during these periods isn't loneliness. It's necessary cocooning while your soul integrates profound downloads that will eventually reshape your entire reality. Topic 8. Ancient wisdom meets modern experience. Throughout human history, cultures worldwide have recognized eclipses as spiritually significant, though interpretations varied from ominous warnings to sacred opportunities. Modern science can now explain the astronomical mechanics, while consciousness research is beginning to validate what ancient mystics always knew. These events create measurable changes in Earth's electromagnetic field, atmospheric conditions, and biological rhythms that influence human consciousness. We're living in a fascinating time where mysticism and science are converging, revealing that spiritual experiences aren't separate from physical reality, but are the deepest understanding of how reality actually functions. The ancient practice of eclipse fasting and meditation wasn't based on superstition, but on sophisticated understanding of energetic cycles. When tantric yogis claimed that spiritual practices during eclipses were exponentially more powerful, they were describing what modern seekers now call high-vibe states, or accelerated manifestation. You don't need to adopt ancient rituals verbatim, but you can honor the underlying wisdom by intentionally working with eclipse energy. Maybe that means scheduling a personal retreat day during the next eclipse, turning off your phone, lighting candles, and spending hours in contemplation and energy work. Treat it as seriously as you'd treat an appointment with the most important mentor in the world, because that's essentially what it is. The real gift of eclipses is that they democratize spiritual awakening, offering accelerated access to transformation that usually requires years of dedicated practice. You don't need to be a monk in a cave or a guru on a mountain. The cosmic portal opens for everyone simultaneously, regardless of spiritual credentials or previous experience. A complete beginner meditating sincerely during an eclipse might receive insights that advanced practitioners work years to access, because the energetic conditions support quantum leaps in consciousness. This is the universe's reminder that spiritual growth isn't earned through suffering or complexity, but through sincere alignment with the natural rhythms of cosmic energy that have been broadcasting upgrades since long before humans invented religion or self-help books. Now that you understand why the universe feels different during eclipses, the real question becomes, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue scrolling through eclipse photos like they're just pretty astronomical events? Or will you start treating these cosmic portals as the sacred opportunities for transformation they actually are? The next eclipse season is already scheduled, written into the fabric of space-time, waiting to crack open your reality and accelerate your spiritual evolution, whether you consciously participate or not. What if you approached it with intention this time? What if you cleared your calendar, prepared your energy, and stepped into the portal fully aware, ready to receive whatever upgrades your soul has been requesting? Think about who you were during the last eclipse season and who you are now. Chances are, Significant changes occurred that you might not have connected to those cosmic events until this moment. What patterns finally broke? What clarity emerged? What doors closed while others opened in ways you never expected? Now imagine what becomes possible when you work with eclipse energy, instead of just experiencing it passively. The universe is offering you express lane transformation. The question is whether you're brave enough to merge into that lane, trusting that what gets stripped away was never serving your highest becoming anyway. Your soul chose this lifetime knowing these eclipses were scheduled. These energetic portals were available. These accelerated evolution opportunities would arrive precisely when you needed them. Are you going to honor that cosmic contract or keep pretending you're here for ordinary experiences? Eclipse energy doesn't respect comfort zones. It respects authenticity, courage, and the willingness to become the version of yourself that your higher self already knows you are. So tell me, when the sky goes dark during the next eclipse, will you finally step into your light? If this knowledge sparks something in you, recognition, curiosity, or that undeniable feeling that you're meant for more, subscribe to this channel and enable notifications. We're exploring the hidden mechanics of spiritual awakening, the energetic portals most people completely miss, and the practical mysticism that transforms seekers into embodied masters. The universe is always speaking. Let's make sure you don't miss the next cosmic download.